Well, you can't make this up, as we have some brand new reports that have dropped surrounding Alex Bregman and his future with the Toronto Blue Jays. And these reports have revealed some new details surrounding what he's looking for in free agency and the Jays' active pursuit of him. We're going to break that down and discuss what this means going forward following the Jays missing out on Pete Alonso, as well as discuss the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. contract extension as that looms in the very near future, as we are just now a couple of weeks away from that deadline. Stay tuned for all that in this episode. Actually, less than a couple weeks away. We're getting very, very close. But before we get into it, folks, quick reminder, hit that subscribe button. If you're part of the 71% who aren't subscribed to the channel, it's the place to be for daily Jays content. Your guys' support has been unbelievable. We're less than 200 subscribers away from 16,000. So if you want to help us towards that goal, make sure to hit that subscribe button, especially as spring training inches closer and closer. We're going to be keeping you up to date with all the latest news. But ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot to go over today. Now, obviously, the Jays missed out on Pete Alonso. They've missed out on so many guys that we've been heartbroken about. Now, Pete Alonso was a bit less heartbreaking than guys like Roki Sasaki. However, following missing out on Pete Alonso, the remaining free agent is Alex Bregman. Now, obviously, the Jays are going to be extremely active in the trade market, we are told. However, that's probably not going to come to fruition until Alex Bregman is moved one way or another, at least signs one way or another. So, let's dive right into it. So there's three different things here. This is from Pat Ragazzo. He has been extremely reliable this offseason. And he says, keep an eye out on the Blue Jays and third baseman Alex Bregman. Toronto wanted two of Scherzer, Alonso, and Bregman, something to watch. Now, we've been all down this rodeo before where the Jays are a team to watch for Pete Alonso. They're a team to watch for Roki Sasaki. They're, of course, a team to watch now for Alex Bregman. And the situation is getting a little bit, it's been getting out of hand for a while. However, again, it's a notable reporter, and keep an eye on the Jays and third baseman Alex Bregman. I'm not going to buy it. I think it's probably just a leverage play. However, it is interesting now that the Jays have a pretty big decision to make here. Do they go above and beyond and really try to grab Alex Bregman from the free agency market? Do they play it safe and try to grab someone in, a less big name, a smaller name in free agency? Or do they go in the trade market? Now, we also have a report from 20 minutes ago from Bob Nightingale, a very reliable reporter. We've came to the point now where Bob Nightingale is a reliable reporter, given all the non-reliable reporters out there. And he says that free agent Alex Bregman still has no interest in a short-term contract and seeks a 6 or 7 year deal. Now, this is important because if you saw the video yesterday, there was a lot of rumblings about the Cubs being offered or Cubs offering Alex Bregman a 4-year, $105-ish million deal, and then that being the precursor to the Cubs signing him and him taking a short-term deal with opt-outs. It seems like he is holding out for a 6 or 7 year deal, meaning those rumors about the Cubs at this point are most likely not going to come to fruition, which is good if you're on the side of the Blue Jays, in which you want Alex Bregman to be a Jay. Now, we know that the Jays, in theory, have had offers for Alex Bregman between 6 and 7 years on the table for an extremely long time now. For almost the start of free agency, we know that the Jays have had an offer on the table for Bregman. It doesn't seem like he necessarily wants to come to Toronto. It almost seems like a very similar situation to Pete Alonso, where they have a similar offer. They have the best offer on the table. The free agent waits it out, and then they get a decent enough offer from another team. It doesn't seem like, Dana Brown came out and said this. Of course, the GM of the Astros basically came out and said that he doesn't think that they're going to return. Alex Bregman is going to return to the team. So the Houston Astros are most likely out. You now have the Cubs and the Tigers. The Tigers are a team. They signed, a bunch of guys, but they are a team that seems very much in on Alex Bregman. Now, with the Toronto Blue Jays, you do have Max Scherzer, and the report was that they're going to get two of Scherzer, Alonso, and Bregman. However, we also heard the report that Alonso is a Toronto Blue Jay. Now, again, that was all rumors and things like that. We know that yesterday John Heyman came out and said that the Cubs are the favorite for Alex Bregman, which seemed like one Hail Mary from Scott Boras for other teams to blink. And then following this report this morning, it seemed like that was absolutely the case. All the different reports yesterday surrounding Alex Bregman and the Cubs seem to have been a bit of a smokescreen to get the other teams to increase their offer, whether that be in AAV or in term, even though it is very clear now that he wants a 6 or 7 year deal. And it's been reported multiple times by different reporters that the Jays have a 6-year, $156-ish million deal on the table for Alex Bregman. But you'd have to assume that, and according to some reports, the Jays are the only team with that long deal on the horizon. Now, Cardinals Live also comes out and names the Tigers, Houston, Boston, Jays, and the Cubs as the finalists for Alex Bregman, which is also extremely interesting. And let's not forget, you can see this here. According to Fangraphs roster resource, there's only one free agent projected to post an F4 over 2.5 in 2025. That is remaining, and that is Alex Bregman. The Tigers, Jays, Astros, Cubs, and Red Sox are among the teams who have been linked to the third baseman this winter. The Astros and Jays have both reportedly offered Bregman 6-year contracts, while his other suitors appear less willing to fork over a long-term deal. If any of those clubs are serious about adding an elite infielder, Bregman seems like the only viable option at this point in the offseason, or viable choice. Jose Iglesias has the next highest projected F4 at 1.3. This is the problem now. The free agency period's basically over, and the biggest name left is Alex Bregman. So if you're a team that wants Alex Bregman, or you think you need Alex Bregman to push you over the top into a playoff spot, whether that be the Jays, the Cubs, the Tigers, the Red Sox, even the Astros, he is the only, the drop-off following Alex Bregman when it comes to the infield market and really just free agents in general is extremely steep. You can see at the top again, the only free agent remaining to have a projected F4 above 2.5 is Alex Bregman. And it's not like 2.5 is really crazy. And if you're the Jays and you think, and we've been talking about how they're in theory now very close to a playoff spot. According to the advanced analytics, they're on the brink. If they can add one more free agent, that will in theory push them over the top. If you're able to go ahead and grab one more free agent in the form of Alex Bregman, who can give you, let's say, 3 to 4 WAR or 2.5 or whatever it ends up being, give you those extra couple wins, which will help propel you over the top. In theory, of course, advanced analytics are just advanced analytics. You're actually going to have to see how they play. But this last free agency spot for all teams, including the Jays specifically, is absolutely critical because you have to go out now and grab a free agent like Alex Bregman, or even just one more bat to help propel your team over the top. Because if you don't, you're going to be in a very peculiar spot here going forward. And again, you're at a point of the offseason where you need one more guy. That's all you need. And you look at Alex Bregman's stats. Yes, his contract is not going to age well, especially if he's given I don't think a 7-year deal is going to happen. Let's say 6 years, $156 million. What they've offered him, that's not going to age well after the second or third year. He's 30 years old. He'll probably start to tail off. We're already starting to see a little bit of a decline. He had his worst season of his career last year, but he doesn't strike out a lot. He's one of the best third basemen in the game defensively. He would man a defensive unit of Alex Bregman, Bichette, Andres Gimenez, and Vladdy. Now, Bichette's not great defensively. Andres Gimenez is one of the best infield defensive-minded infielders we've ever seen. He's great defensively. Vladdy is pretty solid at first base, depending on, the year. And Bregman would be absolutely fantastic. And you already have Dalton Varsho. You have two of the best defenders in the game. You could see why Ross Atkins, who loves defensive-minded players, would love Alex Bregman. And he also hits for power here. So this fit does make a ton of sense. However, the Jays are at the point now where A, are they just being used for leverage? And B, can you afford to give up that amount of money in order to get a guy who's on his decline? The question is, or the answer is yes, you can afford to give up that amount of money. It'll push you into the third CBT threshold. You'll be approaching $300 million. But if you're already near the third anyway, you may as well go over it and make some more moves. But things are going to continue to get interesting. Again, the Jays most likely are being used for leverage here. They were used for leverage in the Pete Alonso situation. I think a trade is the most likely avenue for the LA Lakers to get a deal done. That seems to be what is going to happen here with the Blue Jays. However, we're going to keep you up to date with all the latest news regardless. Let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, we are now 12 days away from the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. extension deadline. So we're going to keep you up to date with that. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you later. Cheers.